Hello everyone, Vito's832 back again. Oh, my glasses are a mess. Anyway, it's time for the Daily Deck, your weekly Kickstarter kickback, whatever you want to call it. Look at what's going on Kickstarter very quickly, hopefully. The Bicycle Killer Clowns playing cards by collectibleplayingcards.com is definitely funded, and there's still 15 days left. Go check it out, especially if you're a fan of Insane Clown Posse. The Excellence Bicycle Excellence playing cards from ElitePlayingCards.com. Over 400% funded. Only 3 days left. Go check it out. It's a pretty nice looking design, as you can probably tell by the amount of funding. Then there is the Bicycle Illusionist, not to be confused with illusionist.com, by Lux Playing Cards, which seems like they really just kind of put together the website not too long ago. It's already 47% funded and still 28 days to go. This one to me, a little lackluster. The back design leaves something to be desired. The faces, alright. Except some issues though, for some reason he thinks, at least based on the comments section, that he thinks he's going to print 2,500 decks, and that would be two colors. But obviously you need to print 2,500 decks of each color. And his goal was a little bit low for two different colors at $10,000. So some red flags. People are starting to, on the forums, notice some similarities to the Founders. So big red flag right there. The Founders is a deck of cards that looked amazing. People pledged for it. It was funded, and then the guy took off with the money, basically. I'm not saying this is going to be the same thing, but definitely warnings are there. Then there's the Tribal Native American themed playing cards by Premonition, CustomPlayingCards.com. 22% funded, 19 days to go. It's not looking too good. Then there's the Cubist Republic card deck by Culture Cards Company. Already 61% funded, but they're only looking for $1,000 anyway. 26 days left. I do have some issues with this one. It's Czechoslovakia themed. It's created by the same guy that did the Ho Chi Minh deck of cards twice. He claims they had rave reviews from designers and card enthusiasts alike, but it was never funded. If it had such great rave reviews, how come it didn't achieve its funding of $3,000? And now he's launched this new project, and the previous one is a Ho Chi Minh poker deck, and then he had it was previously called the Culture Cards Ho Chi Minh Edition. Both failed, and now he's launched this new deck under a brand new Kickstarter account. And every new Kickstarter, and it's the same thing basically. It's themed on Czechoslovakia instead of Vietnam, and his funding goal is now only $1,000. Originally it was 5,000, and the last one it was 3,000. It keeps going down and down. It looks like it's going to get funded this time, but definitely not my cup of tea, and I don't see a reason to launch a new account for this. And then there is the Atelier playing cards, which, oh my god, this lame ass deck of cards, which was looking for $7,500, is already at $27,000, 368% funded. Apparently he's got tons of followers on Twitter, and apparently he did a press release with some media outlet, so he's getting a lot of support. But this deck is lazy. He's got an upside down black heart for the spade tip. He's got absolutely nothing on the faces aside from indexes, and the back design's a little bit lackluster. I'm definitely not feeling it. I know a lot of people on the forums aren't feeling it, so I don't understand why so many people are pledging. And it's $19 a deck plus $13 shipping. It's freaking ridiculous. And people are so dumb, in my opinion. No offense to anyone, but I mean, do a search on Kickstarter for playing cards. You'll see tons of other much more extraordinarily beautiful decks of cards, as he claims this one is. that are much more worth the money than this. Then there is the Relic playing cards by Rena Joy Designs. 3 days left, 81% funded. It's just slowly chugging along. Not a very good deck of cards. Looks like a cheap deck of cards, and there's 4 of them, and I don't think it's going to get funded. But who knows? Then there's the 8-bit playing cards, Bicycle 8-bit, whatever. 36% funded, 14 days to go. It's not looking good. Not a big surprise. The Lakota playing cards by Christina Badhand. 42% funded with 19 days to go. Again, really slow. If the back design was better, I'd be in for it, but it's not. And I think it's a little bit pricey as well. Although I think she did come down on price. I'll have to confirm that. Yeah, originally it was 25 bucks for a deck of cards plus shipping. Now it's 10 bucks for a deck of cards. And again, only looking for 10,000 bucks, which seems a little bit low. But it's right around where you want to be for a deck of USB-C cards anyway. Then there's the Acer, however you pronounce that, red playing cards by Doug Fry. Viking themed deck of cards, 36% funded, 7 days to go. Not looking good. I have some concerns because he did the campaign, the original campaign, got funded for a blue deck, USB-C, didn't achieve enough funding for his stretch goal for a red deck, so he launched a separate campaign for the red deck. He's trying to get both printed at the same time with the USB-C. He's trying to combine shipping on both projects. And a lot of people are going, not going for it because they haven't received the blue deck yet, and they're concerned, and obviously that's a concern as well. To make matters worse, he's trying to get both printed at the same time. He doesn't have the funding for that, in my opinion, that I know of, and so that concerns me, especially if he's already going forward with the USB-C on that, and they're starting to print or anything like that. He's going to have financial issues. Anyway, so I don't think that one's going to get funded, and it's starting to concern me about the blue deck, especially if he's already in the process of paying and getting 2 decks printed with the USB-C and doesn't have the money for it. Why Kickstarter even allowed a first-time creator to immediately do another project before fulfilling the first one, I have no idea. Kickstarter could solve a lot of issues by not allowing a creator to create another project before fulfilling the first one, but yet they do it time and time again. Then moving along, there is the Slick Luxury Custom Playing Cards by Ollie Swinyard. Not doing good. He's looking for like 12,000 pounds. So far he's at, or 10,000 pounds, whatever it is. So far he's about 700 pounds with 23 days left. It's not going to make it. Again, this is the second attempt, and it's just, I mean, I like the faces, the number cards specifically. Not a huge fan of the court cards. They didn't make any changes from the last one. It was previously a very minimalist deck. He's changed the number cards into a more like luxurious style number card and pip and the layout and everything, but the court cards are still very much minimalist, and the back design is also not where I think it should be. If you made it a much more elegant back design and elegant court cards, you would sell them, no problem. And then on top of that, I think he's charging too much from what I can recall. Let's press on. The next deck of cards to talk about, the Celtic inspired bicycle playing cards by Brandon Crook. 26% funded with 8 days left. That one's not going to happen. Again, I think you might be charging a little bit too much. And again, it's another minimalist style deck. And the biggest problem is they got Gaelic text indexes, which pretty much nobody knows how to read. So it makes it pretty much unusable. If you had this more of a Gaelic or Celtic inspired deck with standard faces, like Bent Castle did with the Pippoglyph, it would be a hell of a lot nicer. But that's not the case. If it wasn't a Bicycle branded deck, it would probably be fun. But since it is, it's not looking good. Then there's the Bicycle Double Black from Gambler's Warehouse. 10 days left. Well funded. Not a problem with that one. And the only problem I have is that they're also pre-selling the Bicycle Legacy cards from 4PM Designs at the same time. Are they going to have enough funding to put both of these decks, actually free 4 decks at the same time? I don't know. But I think they have enough money in their pocket from their store to deal with it, so it's not a big issue. Then there's the Dia de las Muertas Bicycle playing cards by Edgy Brothers. They have added yet another deck. There was already 3 decks. There was the main Dia de las Muertas Bicycle deck. There was a black and white version. And then there was the painted deck. And now they've added a unbranded painted deck, which is numbered and I think signed. There's 500 of them. And it's just a completely different unbranded golden colored box. I'd actually like it if they did that deck as well, but I don't think they are. It's just going to be a different box, and it's $20, which seems a little bit pricey, but no additional shipping, which is good because they're already charging $20 shipping international for 3 decks of cards. And well, I think I might go for it, so we'll see. Then there's the Animalia Tales Imperium card deck, and there's 3 days left, by the way, in Dia de las Muertas. Over 580% funded. Go check it out. It's definitely a nice deck of cards, obviously. Then, okay, there's the Animalia Tales Imperium playing cards by Mr. Kim, somebody in South Korea. 10 days left. Well funded, over 200% funded. Over 260% funded to be exact. The back design is not bad from what I've seen now that they have one. Although it's going to have glittery, shiny, metallic effects. The faces are Japanese anime style of animals, and you know it's okay if you like that sort of thing, but with all these other decks, I gotta pass on that one. Oh, it's a sparkly coating that they have on the back design. It's sparkly. Then there's the Sherlock Holmes Museum playing cards, which to me is just ridiculous to call it playing cards just because it has one index in the corner like a playing card. To me it looks more like Magic the Gathering. Definitely not my cup of tea, but it's 45% funded, 17 days left. Not looking good. Then there's the Ritual Bicycle playing cards by Cook Slater. And not looking good. He's looking for, I think, 12 or 10,000 pounds or 12,000 pounds. So far, he's 10% funded with 20 days left. I think people are sending a clear message that it's too standard, too plain, and they're not interested. And I totally understand that. I myself am not interested. I can understand he's trying to appeal to magicians and stuff like that, but people who buy decks on Kickstarter, especially collectors and whatnot, they're looking for decks that are out of this world awesome, not a standard deck of cards you can buy anywhere. It reminds me a lot of Triple X Outlaws and a couple other similar black decks of cards with standard faces. So that one's not going to happen. Another one that's not going to happen, yet again, is the Bicycle Unique Designs by Landry Sanders. It's an interesting deck of cards that has a mirror house theme, fun house theme basically. 19% funded, 17 days to go. Not looking good. He's already tried this once or twice before on Kickstarter. It was known as the Mirrored by Design. He's made some small changes, but it's still not going to get funded. Then there's the Pinyin playing cards, element themed playing cards. It's absolutely 0% funded, $0 pledged, 0 backers, and it's going to remain like that. And I told the guy, check out the other projects on Kickstarter, see what they're doing. But he's refused to do that. He's sticking to one single pledge tier of $100, and you get 5 decks free. That to me is not 5 decks free, it's 5 decks for $100. And I don't understand it. It looks more like an investment opportunity, which is not allowed on Kickstarter, by the way, than an actual project. Then there's the design deck, graphic design themed playing cards, doing extremely well. They were only looking for a couple $100. They're already at over $15,000, over 2,500% funded. I've never seen a deck of cards do that well before. And 4 days left. And it's the most successful playing card Kickstarter project from Canada ever, I'm guessing, based on that percent funded. But it's not my cup of tea, and there's other similar decks out there already that have done this concept. But if you're into graphic design, you want more information on it, these cards got all sorts of information on the faces. Then there's the Lord playing cards, which stands for League of Royal Defenders. It's an interesting idea. It's basically superhero themed court cards. However, people just are not interested. It's currently 2% funded, $312, and they're looking for about $12,000 or something like that, $15,000, whatever it is. Ain't gonna happen, even with 18 days left. And then there's the Viking playing cards from Scott King, the Blizzard Wing and Iron Scale, I believe it is. They are now Bicycle branded, Bicycle Viking playing cards, and they are funded quite nicely, quite well, and still 21 days, and I recommend checking them out. This guy previously designed the Bicycle Gentleman 52, and this is a completely different deck from that one for sure. And then the Clip Wings from Emmanuel Jose, 130% funded, 11 days left. Definitely recommend checking out that transformation deck, which is awesome. And it's bird inspired. He's still got like a circus inspired deck to come and a food inspired deck to come as well, sometime in the future. And then Alpha, the minimal playing cards made in Italy by Valerio Versa. Not doing too good. They've got 3,000 pounds or 25% funded. That means they need 12,000 pounds. 16 days left. Not going to happen. It's just too minimalist style. And I guess people would prefer if they were USB-C, possibly. And I'll try to hurry up. Just bear with me. Then there's the Pocono Modern Playing Cards. 3 days left. Well funded. Although they're looking at changing the back design, and they're like, once the deck is funded, we're going to put a vote on the back design. And it's like, no, you have to do it before it's funded, in my opinion, because what happens if I don't like the new back design, or somebody else doesn't like the new back design, and we're forced to pay for this deck we no longer want? That's not fair. In my opinion, do it before it's funded to give people a chance to decide whether or not they actually want to go for it. And the faces, there's writing on the court cards some people didn't like, but apparently most people are in favor of that, which is fine. And then there's the Storyteller cards, which again, similar to the Sherlock Holmes Museum deck. It's one index and the colony of playing cards. To me, I'm not a big fan of it. It looks like Magic the Gathering. If you're into that sort of stuff, go for it. Myself, I'm not interested. 11 days left, 39% funded. It's not looking good anyway. And then there's the Bicycle Day of the Dead by Vincent Tran in Canada. This is his third Kickstarter attempt for a deck of cards. He previously had the Bicycle Wanted Dead or Alive, which he tried to do 2 decks at once, which is a recipe for disaster from a first-time project creator on Kickstarter. He scrapped those decks after failing twice. Now he's doing another deck which is not looking too good. It's the Bicycles Day of the Dead theme. However, because there is a Dia de los Muertos deck on Kickstarter right now, I think it is poor timing to launch this one, even though he's months in the making. And because of that, he's not getting the backing. Only 10% funded. Of 26 days to go, it's not going to make it. And he's not really promoting it or anything like that I have seen. And that doesn't help either. Also doesn't help that he's in Canada and we have to pay $13 shipping to ship to Canada. And I told him, well, why don't you ship? It's going to be 7, 8, 10 orders from Canada. Why can't you ship those out at $8 shipping or whatever? Anything. You know, I'm not saying it has to be free, but anything less than $13 would be awesome. But he says he can't do it. Okay. So I reduced my pledge to 1 deck because shipping is too much money. And that is that for Kickstarter. Anyone that was interested in the Magicon playing cards from Dan and Dave, those are sold out. They're $10 each. Now you can bet they're going to be more money. I've seen one on Kickstarter for 25. On eBay, my apologies, on eBay for like $25 already. And they're going to be highly priced, obviously. And to me, they're just a glorified Marlboro, Texan, or Bicycle Star deck of cards because it's the same design. And it's lackluster and lazy in my opinion. But maybe I'll change my mind when I get them and review them. And coming soon to Kickstarter, the Aguila playing cards designed by Eddie Soriano, who designed the VJOS 832 deck. And they look awesome. You'll like them a lot more than the VJOS 832 deck, I'm sure. And I can't wait for them to launch. That's what I got. Apologize for being a little bit long. I'll see you next time.